Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this Power BI community session. We'll be starting shortly. Alan?
Yeah, thank you, Maureen. Again, good evening, everyone. We are very excited to have you in our first Power BI community session. We hope you you had a good day. Well, we thank you for everyone that is here. So my name is Alan Gitau. I'm a data analyst here at Sibasi, and I have had the privilege to be hosting this session. This is just to give you a brief overview of what we're going to do. We're going to be doing today. We're going to be tackling data connection and import. Aside from that, this is our first Power BI community session. We'll be having these weekly sessions every day from Thursday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. We'll be thankful and we hope to see you each and every week. Again, so this will not be just a one-time event. We'll be tackling the main aim for this session is we want to build a strong, vibrant Power BI community. That is where we'll be having specialists, anyone passionate about data. We can come together, share insights, and just have fun building with data. Aside from that, we are creating an opportunity for you to interact with seasoned professionals in the industry, people who are working with DBI every single day to solve business problems, to drive insights from data, to building and boots, the experiences, their challenges, their successes. Aside from that, we believe in peer learning. This is not just about teaching you. It's all about us learning from each other. Feel free to ask any question at any point. Aside from that, I'm joined by my other colleagues. I have Rebecca. She'll be helping me out with the chat in case of any questions. To start us off, I'll begin with the main agenda for today. So our main agenda today will be welcome introduction, which I've already done. We'll give you a brief overview of our company and what we do. Aside from that, we'll head over to upcoming events. Then we'll take a deep dive into the main topic for today, that is Power BI data connectivity. And finally, we'll conclude with a Q&A session where we'll be answering any questions that you might have. And then we'll be closing off. So the aim is to keep it short. We are going to conduct a series of Power BI sessions. We'll begin from beginner, heading to intermediate to advanced levels. So for the news segment, we have an upcoming dashboard in a day session. We'll be hosting it on Thursday, 26 February, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. To be an online session. The main advantage of this you'll be getting from this webinar is you'll get a chance to get a hands-on learning and build a dashboard from scratch. It doesn't matter whether you're a beginner, you're a seasoned data analyst. You'll be in expert hands. Aside from that, you'll also get the expertise from various professionals. And finally, you'll get a certificate of completion, which is recognized by Microsoft. You can sign up for this event. You can head over to Sibasi Academy. The link is here. The event is totally free. Feel free to head over to our site and register. So for those who don't know us, I'll be giving a brief intro of our company. So at Sibasi, we are an AI and innovative technology company. We're passionate about delivering excellence and quality with services by building services and solutions that empower you to achieve success and have an impact. So our mission is actually unique. It is embedded into the heart of our name, that is Sibasi. It stands for we offer services and solutions invested and integrated into a business for you to achieve your success and have an impact. Aside from that, we are guided by the following core values. We live by them. We execute every task by them. That is excellence, professionalism, collaboration, innovation, and fun. Now, as we head over to our services and solutions, are divided into three main pillars. That is, to start us off, we have intelligent business platforms. We offer solutions such as e-board management solution that help boards manage their board meetings. We also have a solution for smart memos, CRP, ERP solutions, and we offer M&E reporting services. And Microsoft, I'm sure you might have heard, we have a Microsoft Gold partner. So we offer enterprise systems, productivity systems, business process automations, robotics, and data analytics systems. This will be a key area for today. We'll be showing you how you can unlock data-driven insights from data through Power BI. Aside from that, we offer advisory, consulting, and support services, such as 24-hour support for any services that you get from us, training services and capacity building, security assessments, IT strategy roadmaps, and to close it off, we offer infrastructure management. So at Sibasi, we have been privileged to work with a variety of clients. We have been privileged to work with government institutions, private companies, such as we have worked with institutions such as Kenya Power, Afrimark, Frisco, Zambia Airways, Auto Express. This is just to mention a few. We have a whole big picture of companies we are actively working on, and we're actively recruiting clients. So at this point, I would like to introduce our main speaker for today. We'll have Maureen. Maureen is a seasoned data analyst. She's an expert in that area. She has done a quite number of dashboards. We'll have privilege to have her today to share her story, to give us a few insights, and to most importantly guide us on importing data and in Power BI. Maureen, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Thank you, Alan, for that introduction. As Alan has mentioned, I'm a data analyst here at Sibasi, and I'm privileged to be your presenter for the day. Yes, so today we'll be looking at Power BI data connectivity. This is essentially how Power BI interacts with our data, how we access it, how we store it. So we'll be looking into that. So this is a very important topic because it is very essential that you understand the three connectivity modes, which are import, DirectQuery, connect, because each one affects report performance, refresh behavior of each report, also the modeling, and how the end users can access the reports as well. So it's actually not a it's a very key area in Power BI. Yeah, so I'll just give a brief overview of the three, and then we'll go into looking at how each one of them functions on Power BI desktop that you can see on your screen. So we have, as I mentioned again, three main data connectivity modes in Power BI. These are import, DirectQuery, and the connect. So import, number one, is data connectivity mode, where we essentially create a copy of our source data into our Power BI file. So think of a case where your data source is probably an Excel file. You're going to create a copy of that data into the Power BI file that you're working on, whether it be a PBIX or a PBIP. You're creating a copy of the data into the file. Yeah. We also have DirectQuery and Live Connect that more or less do the same thing, although there's a slight difference which you shall look into. So DirectQuery and Live connect directly to the source data without bringing a copy of that data into the file that you're working on. Therefore, you can more or less say you have real-time to near real-time data connection to your source. So let us look at this in detail as we look at how each one of them, the advantages and disadvantages of each of these connectivity modes. Yes, so we'll start with by going to Power BI desktop. So if you have installed Power BI, I'm hoping that you can open that up. You can follow this if you can. If not, just follow through. Yeah, so in order to connect to data in Power BI, you use your get data. And you will notice that we have quite a number of connectors, data connectors in Power BI. There are quite a number. But for our case, I'll start with connecting our data to SQL Server, just so that we can start with import. Yeah, so I'll try and connect to a DB that I have locally on my PC at the moment. And what you'll notice on this navigation panel is that you'll see data connectivity mode. You'll have both import or direct queries. So we can choose import. So I'll just click on import. Okay, let's give it a minute. So immediately you'll be able to see my data source, and I can now click on a table of my choosing. Let's say pick probably these 3 files. And you'll notice I get a preview of each of the tables that, sorry, not files, but tables. These are 3 tables here on my navigator pattern. In order to load, I can just click on load or click on transform data, which will take me to Power Query, where I can now do my transformations. But since our topic for today is data connectivity, let us just look at that. So once you click on load, the data will be loaded into your file. So one of the key benefits of having import as our data connectivity mode, I should also mention that it is more or less the default way that we connect data to Power BI, is that it actually does store the data into the file. So with this, it makes our reports very, very fast, as we have already cached some of these queries. So if I'm filtering, the performance will be very, very fast, which is a really great plus. What are some of the disadvantages of using import? So as I mentioned before, we are creating a copy of our source data into the file, and we do have limitations. If you have a pro license, you'll have a limit of your file only being able to hold around 1 GB service. For premium, from 10 GB onwards, depending on your license. So you can see that is one of the key limitations that you have with import. Another advantage of import is that you're able to work with your files offline. Since your data, you've created a copy of your source data into the Power BI file, I can just take this file and work on it and share it, and other people can interact with the data in that file. So that is one great plus of working with import. So import is a very good connectivity mode that we mostly use. So you'll notice that once our data loads on the data panel, you'll be able to see the files, the tables that we have loaded, the queries that we have loaded. And if you go to the table view, you have a preview of the data that we've loaded. Unfortunately for me, these tables are actually blank, but if there was any data, we will be able to see that. Oh, actually, they are not blank. Yeah, it's taking a bit of time. So we are able to preview our data there. Another advantage of import is that we are able to do a lot of transformations in Power Query. I guess, which is as opposed to other connectivity modes, which we shall look into. So we can transform as much as we want before we load the data. Instead of loading, as we had done, we could have clicked on transform, gone to Power Query, transformed the data, and then loaded it. Although we can still transform the data now by going to Power Query as well. We have the full range of all the DAX functions. That is in creating our measures or our calculations, we have access to our full measures, which is as opposed to another data connectivity type that we will look into. Yes, so that is one way, that is one of the key benefits of import. Another disadvantage of this I should mention about import mode is that you'll view the report as at last refresh. So as opposed to the other two methods, which are connecting to the data directly, this one will be as at last refresh. So if I need to view this report, if there was a data update made from the DB, I will need to come to this file and click on refresh, where I can refresh the data. And then I'll get the latest data in my Power BI reports. Yes, so that is our case on import. So I'll just delete this and then we can move swiftly into DirectQuery. So I'll just delete these queries. Let's just open a new one. We can open a new report. So let us look at the DirectQuery. So as we mentioned before, you might have a case where you have a lot of data. So you think of a company that collects a lot of data, and you are not going to be able to import that data into your Power BI file. It's not going to be able to do that. So what are your alternatives? We have the alternative such as DirectQuery. So DirectQuery is a very good way that connects directly to our live data. So as opposed of bringing our data into our file, we are only connecting to the data. The only thing that we are bringing into our file is the data structure. So these are the table names, the table relationships, our columns as well. And let us look at that, how that works. So I'll just go to get data and then click on SQL Server. Okay, let's give it a minute as it looks. Yes, so just come locally. And now for data connectivity mode, I should click on DirectQuery. Let us click on OK. Let us give it a minute. I should also mention that one of the limitations of DirectQuery is that not all our data connectors all our data sources can be imported, can be connected through DirectQuery. So there is that limitation. I think my fellow colleagues can share a list of all the data sources that can be connected to Power BI using DirectQuery. So that is one thing you should keep in mind when choosing this as your data connectivity mode. So I'll just pick a number of tables that I know for sure have a relationship so that we can see how that comes in together in our Power BI desktop. So I'll click on load. And then we can see how that works. Yeah. So just to think about some of what would happen. So we had that case that I was talking about. I need to collaborate with a fellow user, but my DB is on my PC. But I'm trying to create a report and I'm using DirectQuery as my data connectivity board. But I need to collaborate and I want to send them the file. Let's say we don't have access to a service. Of course, there are better ways of collaborating. So one of the key disadvantages is that you're connecting live to the data source. So unless I've parameterized my data and my colleague has the DB as well, there is no way they can work with this data, with this report. So you cannot work offline as you would with import data, with import data connectivity mode. Yeah, so as you can see, our tables have loaded on the data pane. However, you will notice that we don't have the table view here. That is because our data has not been more or less imported into this file. So we are connecting directly to the data. So what does this do? As opposed to import data where we are the file is going to get bigger because we are more or less bringing more data into the file. This file is going to remain relatively small because all we are doing is bringing in the data structure. So if you come to the model view, you'll be able to see the tables, the table names, the columns, and best of all, you'll be able to see the relationships that exist with these tables. So it is bringing, that's the only thing that is bringing. So our Power BI files remain quite small as opposed to the import data mode. Yes, so as you can see, that is one of the best advantages of here. And any report that you create here is going to be more or less querying your source. Now, one of these disadvantages is going to be that your reports are going to be quite slow, especially if your source data is also slow. It can be slow if your database can be quite large or poorly optimized. Yeah, so that is one of the key disadvantages that we face with DirectQuery. You also have limited DAX functionality. So you'll not have full access to all the functions that we have in Power BI. So like time intelligence functions that we work with, you won't have the full range of that when you're working with DirectQuery mode, as you would in import mode. Yeah. We also have quite a number of restrictions in terms of the type of visuals that you can have, especially those that are AI powered. So visuals like Q&A, which is unfortunately being depreciated as of this month. So quite unfortunate. I hope that's one of the key Power BI news that we are getting. You are in some custom visuals, you're not going to be able to have like the full range of the visuals that you can work with in Power BI. So that's a very sad disadvantage with DirectQuery. More or less, but best of all, you'll be able to get real-time to near real-time data. I should also mention that you can combine these two connectivity modes, import and DirectQuery, thereby creating what we call a semantic model that we shall look at later. I should also mention in import, once you publish these reports on Power BI service, you can generate a published web link. So once that link is created, you can share this report to anyone who has access to the link. They can see the report. In DirectQuery, however, this is not possible. So anyone who wants access to the report must have a license and access to the workspace. So these are some of the things that you need to consider. Who is going to be consuming the reports? Do we have the money to buy the licenses? So as a Power BI developer, you need to keep all this in mind when you're choosing your data connectivity mode for the reports. So these are very key things to think about when you're working with Power BI. So let us see the difference between Live Connect and Direct Query. So the difference between DirectQuery and Live Connect, since they both connect to the source data directly, is in the type of data that we are connected to. So Live Connect mostly works with data that already resides in Power BI service. These are our semantic models, what was previously known as Power BI datasets. So it also works very, very well with analysis services, whether on-prem or in Azure analysis services in cloud. So this is a very important and very good way of connecting to data. Actually, especially for those people who are working with a lot of data, or creating or working with multiple data sets that are especially in Power BI. So let's look at that practically. by trying to connect to one of our semantic models that already exist in Power BI service so that we can see how that one works. Let's just give this a minute. I should also mention, in case you have any questions, you can take advantage of the Q&A feature and the Q&A section and just ask about. And once you're done here, we can answer any questions. Yeah, so I'll go to my get data and then click on Power BI semantic models. And then we can see how that one looks like. Yes, so immediately you're going to see I have access to all my Power BI service datasets. So all I can do is just click on one. Let me just pick this one, AdventureWorks Analytics, and click on Connect. Let's just give it a minute as it loads. Yeah, so you will see once again that I will not be able to view my table view. That is because I will not be able to make any updates to my Power BI, to my data set now. I cannot even access the Power Query editor. So what you get once you load your Power BI semantic model, you get all your tables, all your measures, your full model, that's the tables and your relationships. So this is a really great way, especially if let's say you're working for an organization and you've created reports for different departments or different domains, such as finance, HR, and you want to create one consolidated overview report. How would you do this? So you can, of course, create these reports by which will then have different datasets. Then now you can come and connect to all those different datasets that already exist in Power BI service, and now consolidate these data semantic models into one semantic model here. So now you're able to create an overview report by just accessing the Power BI semantic models that already exist. The best part about this, when each of the reports refreshes, your executive report will also refresh as well. So since the source is already another report. So this is one of the best cases that we can to use a live connect. Once again, as I said before, you can, and I should mention, you can only have one semantic model report. So you can see I cannot have, you cannot, not semantic, you cannot now come and import an Excel workbook. No, you cannot have a semantic model in this with Live Connect. Yes. So that is how you work with Live Connect. Yeah. So as I mentioned, I'll take any questions. I hope that you have learned something about data connectivity modes. As another something I should mention is that you also cannot do Live Connect published web link when you publish this report on Power BI service. So because of sensitivity issues. So yeah, so the only one that you can create a published web link with is you can use import mode. Yeah, so with that, I'll take it back to Alan for the Q&A session.
Yeah, thank you, Maureen, for the awesome session, the walkthrough. I hope you have learned one or two. It was amazing. So we'll head over to the Q&A session. Anybody with a question? Or Rebecca, maybe you can help me out. I'm going once, going twice. There's no question.
Yep. since there is no questions. But however, I should mention that you can join our WhatsApp group. If you do have any other questions, you can ask them there. We have a community of people who are very helpful, and we will answer you from there. Remember to join our connect every Thursday at same time, 6 to 7. Yeah, back to you, Alan. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Maureen. Just to add, a great reminder, we will be hosting a dashboard in a day on 26th. The event is free.